Hello everyone, I am the Next Gen Stuff, and today we're going to be playing a Terran vs. Protoss on the North American ladder. Terran vs. Protoss, I am a Protoss killer, so I am an expert at murdering Protosses. I don't play Protoss very good myself, I am a Terran player, as you may know if you watch my channel, but I'm going to be following this up with a timing attack, because I always begin with a timing attack in Terran vs. Protoss, or at least mostly. Sometimes I switch it up a bit and go for like some early double Widow Mine drops, and mostly I go for this very early timing attack that hits Protoss in the face, and it's killed like my last 7 matches with any Protoss on the ladder, but for some reason this guy defends it really well, because for some reason he knows how to play Protoss, and that's just all I can say. So I'm going to be following this up with a 12 gas and a barracks before the gas, obviously, but the gas right after the barracks at 12 supply, and I'm going to be following up with constant SCV production after that. This is all one base play, so he's going to be taking double gas, which is going to give him a lot of room for any tech he wants to go for. So I was really confused as a Terran player, because when I saw the double gas when I scouted him, I thought he was going to go for double upgrades, but he actually ends up going for charge. So very shortly after this, he is going to go for a Twilight Council. I'm spoiling the video. I'm going in. I'm telling you all the secrets. So he's going to be following this up with a Twilight Council after 2 gateways, which is pretty interesting. And what this looks to a Terran player is Blink, because Blink is very popular on the ladder right now, and you could just blink into a Terran's base and just kill them. But I'm not worried about that, because even though I'm not going to scout him, because even if he is going for Blink or DTs, I'm going to be ready for it, because just because this build allows you to get Stim and Combat Shield very early on and hit Protoss in the face. Even if he had DTs, this build allows you to get off a couple scans, so even defensive DTs wouldn't do this. But double gas in the natural indicates either a proxy Stargate or a Blink. But he is actually going to be slowly building up that gateway count. He is going to scout my massive marine count in the natural, and he is actually going to start going for some storm, which is pretty interesting. This is a very creative Protoss player. I'm just going to tell you right now, this is a very creative Protoss player. Like, you wouldn't even expect what he's doing right now. So what he's actually going to do is I'm going to be rallying my Marines and Marauders across the map, and he only has 4 Zealots. So you might be thinking, how does he defend this? He only has 4 Zealots? Well, at his Twilight Council, this whole time he was actually researching Charge. And Charge allows you to just lock onto units. But you're like, that's way too much Bioforce. So, obviously, I'm going to obliterate this force. I'm going to walk up the ramp and just start doing damage. But then he saved up, he was a wise Protoss, and instead of using Time Warps, like, endlessly, he saved up Photon Overcharge for his Nexus, and as you may know, Photon Overcharge lasts 60 seconds. Since it lasts 60 seconds, you can just use it over and over again and get 60 energy back from the Mothership Core, so you can use like 3 Photon Overcharges and delay their push by like 3 minutes, which is really unfortunate. Since I know my push may be delayed, I'm going to start a factory, a supply depot, and a command center on the low ground, or like in that weird 3rd base position, but I have map control, so I'm going to start my 3rd base. At this point, I thought that he had a natural already. It was just in that weird little spot, but I needed to save my scans. I didn't want to use it for a meal, so I just assumed he had the natural, and if he didn't have the natural, I decided that if he didn't have it, then I would be ahead anyway. So this observer is going to fly in. My units are rallied across the map, so even if I see the observer, I couldn't do anything about it. This Warp Prism is going to move out. This Warp Prism, this counter harass is really good by him. He is a really creative Protoss. I've never seen that on the ladder yet. However, well, of course there's going to be Warp Prism harass, but you'll see what I mean in a little bit. And I do see the Templar Archives, and I'm like, okay, this is a really early storm. You must have 2 bases if you have Templar Archives. I mean, but then I'm going to scan, and I see that he doesn't have any natural, which is really weird. So I'm going to be still rallying a couple Marines across the map to deny a 3rd, and I'm going to be starting my own 3rd. So he's going to be researching Psionic Storm very shortly to deal with my large amount of Bioforces, and he's really annoying counter-harass Zealots, because he knows I was rallying. He was really smart Protoss. He knows I was rallying my units across the map, so he's gonna... If he had 2 bases, he would be probably far ahead right now, because those Zealots killed like 8 SCVs or something crazy like that. So I'm just gonna kite the Zealots all day. And he's committing a lot into Zealots. He hasn't made 1 Stalker this game. He refuses to make Stalkers. So he's gonna... He has no Stalker. He will just lock you down with those Zealots. I guess he just likes those Zealot skins. I'm not sure what the logic is behind that. But I do know a valid strategy is Zealot Archon, which you do need to skew towards more. You need to get Ghosts. And I do realize he commits into High Templars later in the game, so I do get Ghosts. Although he has Observers out on the map. So he does have more map control than I recently anticipated. So he is going to be walking down the ramp and killing this, but also leaving the High Templars in the base in case I do any drops or anything. You can catch fully energied Medivacs with a feedback and one-hit KO the Medivacs, which is, I think he could possibly do. He has pretty good APM. I mean, I didn't look at it, but he can multitask a lot. At this one point in the game, he multi-prong harasses while attacking me from the front, while microing Zealots in the main base of me, and defending off my double drop. But enough talk about that, where he's going to be moving out, knowing that since I committed so much into that timing attack, he's going to punish me for not doing that. Even though he has a supply disadvantage, he is killing off these Widow Mines wisely, and he does have those scary, scary High Templars. He has 4 High Templars. If I don't dodge those storms, I'm going to be in trouble. And I'm going to tell you why Terran needs to get combat shields. Never have a late combat shield as Terran. Because look, he storms me, and each Marine lives with like 5 HP. Those Marines would have all been dead if I didn't have the combat shield. They would have been all dead. If I just had Stim, they would have been all dead. And he would have probably just won the game right there. So I am going to have to move in here. He does do some counter harass right here. Although, I'm like, this is a crazy action-packed game. He's like warping in Zealots all over the place. I do target that Warp Prism down so it can't harass anymore, to slow down any more harassment so I can defend off army from the front. Although, I do need to send in some more troops because those Zealots were killing my Marines while I was targeting down the Warp Prism, which is kind of annoying. So, right now, I'm just going to start mining off. I am on 3 bases, though, so I'm going to catch up very quickly. I'm going to... My +2/+2 is already done, so I'm going to start +3/+3, and he only has +1 attack, so... And upgrades are pretty useful in this matchup. Not as useful as like Terran versus Zerg. Terran versus Zerg, the upgrades are way more crucial, although in this matchup they're still fairly more, but Protoss is all about area splash, so sometimes it doesn't matter. Obviously, if I didn't have the 2/2 in that Side Storm fight, I also could have died. So those upgrades did serve me well. He is now just getting his 3rd. It's better for the Protoss to be a base up from the Terran, since the Protoss does not have mules. Although, Terran also wants to keep on the same bases with Protoss then again, because even though Protoss doesn't have mules, they do have warp gates, and they can reinforce much, much quicker than regular units. And if you didn't know this, warp gates recharge 10 seconds faster than a gateway, so like, if Zealots train for 170 seconds, I don't know this because I'm not a Protoss, but I just know that one little mechanic. If Zealots are 170 seconds, then they're actually 160 seconds to recharge on a warp gate. So, and all the gateway units are the same time to recharge, so obviously you probably know that if you're a Protoss. But I'm going to keep on my guard. I'm going to start my 4th base. And I do scan him and realize that he is committing into High Templars, so I'm gonna have to get Ghosts. And Ghosts, I love Ghosts. Terrans love Ghosts. Protoss despise Ghosts. They're like, I wish Ghosts never existed. Because Ghosts get rid of High Templar energy, and they can EMP. So he's gonna go for a Storm Drop, which is really, really cool. I think he gets like 6 SCVs right here, which is actually pretty cool. I commend him for doing the storm drops, although he does forget about the Warp Prism and it stays in the corner for the rest of the game, I'm pretty sure. So he's just gonna sit right there for the rest of the game, because he forgets about him. It's kind of unfortunate. But, you know, he's gonna be oversaturating this third base. With 32 SCVs, I took out his natural with my double drop counter harass because I saw the positioning of his army. And it was out on the map, so I decided to just move in with that double drop, because he can't just stop that double drop from one warping. I scan again, see he's out of position. I'm like, okay, buddy, you wanna do this again? We'll do this all day. We'll do this all day. I can just move in my double drop, and you can just die. So I'm just gonna keep my. I'm gonna scan in again. The positioning of your army in Terran versus Protoss and Terran versus Terran are probably the biggest things. Not as much Terran versus Zerg, because Terran versus Zerg, they don't really go for harass. Well, other than Mutalisk harass, but Mutalisk harass you can just get a couple turrets in your base and keep on your guard so you can repair those at any instance or stim in your marines. So I see that his army is across the map, so if you look on the minimap, it's across the map, so I'm going to move in my double drop and kill all his production. And he's like, oh shoot, he's killing all my production. He may have 5 Colossus and 4 High Templar. He may have Colossus, High Templar, and Zealots, but he definitely doesn't have anything for this. So I'm just gonna move away again, and I empowered like a ton of those warp gates, which is gonna delay this push a lot. So he's gonna have to make a ton of pylons. He is supply blocked again, which will slow him down. So this is another thing that puts me in the lead. If you look at the resources lost, he lost 3,000 more resources. I EMP'd that army. Okay, that was the game changer right there. So we need to go back and watch that. But look at this. So his army's there, and my army's up here. Now, his army looks vastly superior to mine. Other than that, he has no armor, +1 attack, which doesn't matter as much in Terran versus Protoss, although I have those evil units called the Ghosts. So here's where he comes back and cleans up my double drop. But I have the evil units called the Ghosts that come in and destroy the High Templars. The reason Ghosts aren't usually used is because they're really expensive. They're 150 Myrtles and 150 gas. Here comes the MPs. I'm going to jump on top of these Colossus and just take them out. And that's his whole army. So, and I know that he's not going to be able to defend my next push because he does have... And look at this. Look at this. So, I can just move in my double drop again if I want. Although I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to... Random Archon. I was like, wait, what? Did that just come from my side of the map? Yeah, that was really weird. So, this 4th base is really exposed. He's going to move out and try to kill this before I can attack his 4th base. But I can kite all day, buddy. I can kite all day. I can kite your Zealots all day. So he's going to be warping a ton of Zealots. Man, this guy just refuses to make Stalkers. I mean, you think by now he would have made Stalkers, but I guess he was making Zealots because he got that early charge. I don't know. But I am going to be attacking this. Probably should have moved in with my double drop here. But I was busy kiting these Zealots. I can kite all day, buddy. So I'm going to bring these on top of the Colossus, which is going to take out the Colossus. And this is pretty much going to be game. Look at my supply advantage. 177 to 80, which is an insanely advantage. I always like to secure my wins. And he's starting to make excuses. I'm tired. I'm gonna call it GG, and I'm like, nah, buddy, nah. I got that double drop counter attack, and you didn't have any cannons in the main base. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll get another video up soon. I know this video was really late, but next time I'll show you a video where I beat a Platinum Terran when I'm playing as Protoss. My race, I don't know how to play. I think I'm like a Silver Protoss. Okay. Bye! I'm just checking out stuff. Okay.